Today we peer into the future of Marvel Snap and discover whether this card is worth the hype or if we all been blindly following the trends. Find out what's going on as I hereby invite everyone to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. So we got a brand new card for our character Spotlight for this week, and that is Madam Webb. Quick disclaimer, this is the comic version, not the movie version. Madam Webb was born in Salem, Oregon. While growing up, she found out that she possessed powerful psychic abilities and established herself as a medium. Due to a rare disease, she was born blind and is confined to a special chair that is an elaborate life support system that keeps her blood moving, lungs breathing, and electricity coursing through her brains. She made sure it was designed to include a series of tubes that shaped to form a giant spider. Madam Webb gets her precognition from the great web of life and destiny. This web exists at all points in time, the past, present, and future. It reaches out to touch all other realities in the multiverse, as they are just strands on this web, and it will enable anyone who knows how to use it the ability to move between the realities. It also connects all the different spider avatars and gives them their precognitive spider sense ability. Madam Webb will commonly appear when Peter Parker needs the most guidance or when she needs some help to protect others. With her being a powerful psychic, she has helped warn the spider of possible outcomes to his decisions or to the lasting ramifications that might result. Thanks to her clairvoyance, she knows his secret identity and even helps protect it from those with mind-reading powers. And thanks to all of her help, Peter considers her a most trusted ally. Madam Webb is very present in the moment with her thoughts and decision-making. She often uses simplistic, straightforward dialogue to get her point across. Even though she knows that there are merits to her premonitions, she constantly doubts that any action can affect the future of her visions. But she convinces herself with little, much can change. Due to her premonitions, she often has to have many events verified by others as having happened in order to believe they occurred. Madam Webb lacks almost all function in her limbs, has been blind all of her life, and is confined to a special chair. However, she possesses psychic abilities, including the ability to read minds and affect the minds of those around her, to perceive aspects of the future, and the ability to project her consciousness outside her body to others. She also has the ability to move herself and others to different places in the multiverse through the Great Web. Madam Webb is blind, but powerful psychic who uses her precognitive abilities, who can move herself and others to different places in the multiverse through the Great Web. This is represented in Marvel Snap as after she is on your side of the field. Each turn, she can help move others in her location to different places. So in Marvel Snap, she is a 2-cost, 1 power with the description of ongoing on your turn. Once she's out on there, she has the ongoing ability that every turn after she's out, you can move one card, not her, out of her location to any location you feel like. It can be a card that is already in her location, or a card that you play her, and then next turn you can move it out of her location. I am one of the few people who believes that this card is incredibly broken. I would say this is a 5-star card to start off with, and that might be underselling it. This card, I cannot honestly believe that they ever allowed to be printed. This is going to be a card that goes down for the longest time as being a Zabu, as being a Silver Surfer, as being a Jeff the Baby Land Shark. This is going to cause design problems down the road for second dinner. It is so weird that they let this card actually exist. It's that powerful. Now, if you were to just look at it as a power stat line ability, it doesn't look the greatest in the world. It basically is just a 2-1, which is nothing worth writing home about. That basically equates to basically it being a Bucky Barnes. But that is so not what this card is for. You are not playing this for the stats. Yes, it has obvious advantages with Human Torch. It has obvious advantages with stuff like Craven. Anything that has move, including Vulture, is going to be huge going forward. But it has advantages beyond that. Basically what this card does is it makes any card that you play into it, any card whatsoever, get the Nightcrawler ability, that it can move once. And that is huge. The problem is that most people are trying to think of this as a move card, which is fair. But what you kind of almost got to think of it as is almost a Scarlet Witch or a Limbo or a Rhino. Think of this as location manipulation. Now when you play this card down, when you have this card on your side of the field, any location is an accessible location. Nothing is keeping you out of Sanctum Sanctorum. Nothing is keeping you out of Death's Domain. Nothing is keeping you out of Luke's Bar. All of these are cards that show up a lot. Altar of Death. The weird one on 4 that locks down, and I can't remember the name of. The one that makes it so that 1s, 2s, and 3s can't be played. The one that makes it 4, 5s, and 6s can't be played. On-reveal cards can now go to not-on-reveal places. It's that powerful. One of the things that is going to be used a lot with this card, I think, might be Mystique. As if you can set up on turn 1, you play the Human Torch. Turn 2, you play the Madam Web, and on turn 3, you play the Mystique. You can basically ping-pong your Human Torch every single turn. Except for 2. You play it on 1, 2, you play it on the Madam Web, 3, you move it, then it just ping-pongs. And that's incredibly important to remember, but that, I think, is kind of overselling what you can do with this card. Because when you do that, people are going to know that you're ping-ponging, people are going to know that you're playing move, and that might be why a lot of people are limiting how good this is. They're all just saying, yes, it's a move card, big whoop-de-doo. Well, move has only been one card away from being a real contender. So, I'm going to show you some interesting cards that have nothing to do with move that might make you double think about this card. First of all, Dracula. You can take Dracula, which is normally a 4-drop card, and you have to play into its own lane, and you can play it into this lane. And then at the very last turn, you can move it to another lane and win that lane if you're playing this card. You've basically said, hey, Dracula, you can go to any lane that you want to. So you play Madam Web on 2, you play Dracula on 4, and then you have basically all 3 lanes to play Dracula in and win that lane. That's huge. Another big one is Omega Red, which isn't even that good of a card. I just wanted to show that bad cards can work with this, okay? You play Omega Red into Madam Web. Now even on turn 6, your opponent has to sit there and think, are they going to keep the Omega Red there? Or are they going to move it to a different location? If they move it here, they get that +3 power across the board. Is that going to be enough to win me the game? Is that going to be enough to lose me the game? It's going to have those amazing brain strategy thinking moments where you're going to be sitting there going, okay, my opponent's got the Omega Red. They're sitting on this. If they move it over to this lane, they get the +3 power off the Omega Red, and then they get the +2 power off of this zone's ability. Is that going to be enough for them to win it? It's going to be huge like that. Another card that never sees play is Medusa. You play Medusa in the middle. You have Madam Web already in the middle. This is now a 2/5. You have a 2/5 that you can move that 5 power along to wherever you want to on that last turn. It does have a lot of good bonuses with the Spectrum if you're running an ongoing effect, because it is an ongoing effect. Now that does mean that it does run into the same error of Enchantresses and Red Guardians and Rogues. But that's all I think that it's affected by is those three. So it doesn't have a lot that's affecting it for all the bonuses that it gets to. And these aren't even talking about big cards. These aren't even talking about putting your Atumas in here or putting your Crossbones into the Madam Web and then moving them later. There's a deck that I basically love to play, where basically now on turn 2 you can play down the Madam Web or Armor, and then on turn 3 you can play down the other half, the Armor or the Madam Web. Then 4 you play down the Shuri, 5 you play down the Red Skull, and now Red Skull can go into any of those 3 lanes, and you can either Taskmaster it to get another Red Skull, or you can Artem Zola to get 2 Red Skulls, and that's a huge win. With that being said, other than Madam Web this week, we have the Smoke Monster known as Elias. This card has started to fade a little bit, but it's a game winner when you can get it sometimes. If you know you need to win a lane, you can win a lane. The problem is the only way that you're winning is if you're ahead, which means that you're basically winning by more. But the few times that you shut down a Symbiote Spider-Man because of this, or you shut down a Doctor Doom because of this, or you shut down a Galactus because of this, it's just gorgeous. The other card that we have with this is Silk. Now, Silk, unfortunately, is useless at this point for all intents and purposes. To a certain degree, Madam Web kills Silk. There's absolutely no reason to play Silk, because most of the reason that you were playing Silk was because it was a card that would let you get into locations that you couldn't get into otherwise, and help out your Craven a little bit. Madam Web does both. You do lose the 4 power, but you get the consistency of knowing where it goes. The number of times that I've had Silk go into a Space Throne somehow, or go into a location that already has 3 cards in it, and I lock up that location, is just huge. The penalty that you get from playing Silk is just, it's not good. In my opinion, this is one of the few weeks that I would highly recommend to spend your collector's tokens, if you can, to buy the Madam Web and to wait for Elias or Silk to come back, or just skip them at all and not waste the key. I will, however, do so because I do content. So let's find out what's in the box. Boxes. Oh, we got the Madam Web. That is gorgeous. I love that. We will be playing Madam Web this Thursday then. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun.